What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 55 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are doing good. We're back once more. The transfer window is about to slam shut. We don't have any deals to do, and well, I'm hoping that we're not going to have any offers for our players in these next 2 days, which are going to massively unsettle our players. Of course, it has been a couple of days since the last episode. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you won't know what's been going on, but basically I've just not been very well. I've just had a bit of a sore throat. I didn't really want to overexert myself by doing videos. Inevitably, the videos just wouldn't be as good. So I just took the weekend off, which, to be honest, was quite nice. I'm recording this on the bank holiday Monday. I think this will actually be going up on Tuesday. But sometimes it's good just to have a day or two off. It's been a long weekend here in England anyway. We've got a bank holiday. With me being a little unwell, I've just kind of taken it as an opportunity to relax a little bit. But, well, we're back with more Lyon Live action, of course, now. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, touch wood, we can have a better episode today than last episode. If you didn't catch up on the last few episodes, I feel like with a few days without a video, it's a good opportunity to go back. But if you haven't gone back and watched, the previous few uploads, you won't know what the recent form's been like. If you have watched them, you do know what it's like. And it's not great, is it? Let's be honest. It's been pretty disappointing just across the board. Really not been happy with how things have gone, to be honest. But we are in a better position now, I hope, to kick on. Of course, today we've got some big games. We're going to be starting off with this game against Atletico Marseille in the French Cup 10th round. A game that we should absolutely 100% definitely be winning. Perhaps the big game today, we've got Juventus to play in the first knockout round of the Champions League. So that's not going to be an easy first leg to play. We've also got games against Lorient. And if we have time, we'll also get the game in against Bordeaux. But yes, things, they're going okay, aren't they? I noticed that we had an offer for Toussaint, I think I saw, from Liverpool. But we are not selling Toussaint, and we are definitely not selling him for, I think it was about £20 million I saw that they bid on him. Was that a thing? I want to check now. I'm pretty sure I saw that offer come in. Can I not search Toussaint's name? Yeah, you can see a Liverpool putting a bid. 26 million is actually more than I expected, but I don't want to sell him. I don't have a need to sell him. I don't want to sell him. He's our star man. It's deadline day. I wouldn't be able to replace him. He can kick up a storm if he wants. It's not going to change my kind of reaction, I guess, on things here. But anyway, yeah, Atletico Marseille, the first game of today's episode. Hopefully we can get a win here. Given our recent form, it's not necessarily a freebie like it really should be. A job to be done. We'll have to make sure we are not complacent going into this game. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be in a position where, I don't know, where we today at least we get wins. That's what we need. We need a few episodes of wins. I did read through the comments on the last upload. A lot of you guys talking about, Jack, you should just be selling the players who want to move and leave the club and promote the youngsters from within because, the players are unhappy, they're not going to play as well. From my own experience, when players get unhappy about lack of first team football, usually, and I can't obviously say this with any kind of definitiveness, but usually I feel like, oh, is that okay? Yeah, Aneda. We'll register Aneda. That makes sense. But usually players who get unhappy in January, by the time it's the end of February, even mid-February, they're just happy again. And I know there's people who are desperate to see me, promote players from within and, try and promote, some of the really young players. My board expectation this season is to win the league. Like the board expect me to win the league and go strong in the Champions League. You can see they want us to reach the quarterfinals. I can't sell the likes of Wallace and Lenglet and then just promote youngsters from within. Like I can't, because if I do that, my team isn't going to be good enough and I'm going to get sacked because I need to at least be competitive in the league. I don't think we'd be sacked if we didn't win the league. But equally, if we do fall up short, I'd just get sacked. So as much as I would love to, be like, yeah, let's just give all the 16 and 17-year-old players more game time. Screw all the players who want to leave. I'll move them on. I've kind of got to go in with the attitude of, are the 16 and 17-year-olds I have good enough to win me the league? No, not really. Yes, I know it's a shame that we've lost players like Glenn Kamara this window, and that we, are perhaps a tiny bit weaker in certain areas. And I would like to give some of these young players a game time. And actually, this game against Atletico Marseille probably is a pretty good opportunity to do that. But I don't want to get sacked. So I hope you guys can understand why I'm not making, a load of changes. Today's a little bit of an exception because we're taking on Atletico Marseille. So I'm going to give players like Marco de Jong a chance. Auger and Kone in the midfield as well. Their fitness is not the best, but they should still be good enough, I hope, to see us through this first game against Atletico Marseille in the French Cup 10th round. I feel like I did a horrible job just then of explaining my logic, but I hope it makes a little bit more sense. I feel like the players are unhappy. They'll get happy with a bit of time after the window closes when they realise they can't leave. I need to be challenging PSG, who have just signed Pogba and a load of other players. I can't just play 16-year-olds in the team because it'll be good for their development, because oddly enough, I don't want to get sacked. And I don't think we'll get sacked if we don't win the league as long as we're competitive. But equally, I don't really want to take the chance if I can avoid it. Always knew that winning the league this year, back-to-back was going to be a challenge. I feel like we made a bit of a problem for ourselves by doing so well in the Champions League as well. The board expectation rocketed up whilst perhaps the budgets and the finances we had to work with didn't go up by the quite the same amount, I guess you could say. But anyway, I've rambled on for long enough there. My lack of sleep, just through being unwell, is probably quite evident. I feel like today's going to be one of those days where the live commentary is all over the place, so please do bear with me. St. Maximin, what can you do? Okay, on the overlap now. Nice ball to Moreno. Have a go, Moreno. Have a go, Moreno. Oh my god. And Ada, how has that gone in? I have no idea how that's gone in. I am not going to complain. It's Tizzy with the goal. I'm kind of glad that Moreno hasn't been awarded an assist there, because I don't feel like he deserved one for his contribution. But yeah, we break the deadlock early here. Moreno hits it, keeper saves it, rebound, third effort, and then, well, Lejeune there in goal, just beaten to the punch by Tizzy, who found the back of the net. And, well, an ideal start as far as we're concerned. Where are Atletico Marseille? They play in the French National 2A, which is the same league as our reserves. So, given the team that we've put out there, it's a pretty strong team, particularly the back four. I feel like you would expect us to win by quite a handsome margin. Maybe. I'll let you guys decide. But anyway, 30 minutes gone here. We're in a pretty good spot, I feel like. Things are all kind of going to plan. Good to see that Auger and Kone are playing reasonably well. Obviously, great to see Tizzy get the goal. A bit of an eye on De Jong, perhaps, out on the right wing for us, the young Dutchman. I'm pretty sure this is his debut, as Tizzy has a chance. Oh my gosh, not a bad effort. A great save by the keeper. That looked like it was destined for the top corner, but denied. And well, half-time, only 1-0. I say only. I feel like you'd expect us to get a few more. You can see just looking at the way things have played out, we've been massively, massively in control of this game. I'm actually going to switch to the direct attacking style of play for the second half, and we'll see how it serves us. You can see we have been the dominant team. We have been by far and away the better of the two sides. Do I want to make another change here? No, I don't. I feel like we need to just make sure we're resting up most of our first team players are on the bench for the upcoming games we've got, particularly that game against Juventus. That's going to be huge for us. That's going to be massive. St. Maximin whips the ball in, headed clear. It is only 1-0 here, and they are now on the attack. I am slightly concerned. That looked like a blatant foul by Moreno in 3D, but apparently it was a fair tackle, so we're not going to complain. And Ada picks up the ball. Lovely ball behind St. Maximin perhaps a little bit, but the ball's still whipped in. Cleared away as far as Kenny Lala. Have a go, Kenny! Kenny Lala's he's just been a constant. If we just look at his history, you can see, he's been in and out of the first team a fair bit, but he's always performed well, be it for our reserves, be it for our first team. When we've called upon him, he's done the business, and he's done the business again here. Renada, a little bit of a wayward pass, headed clear, and then kind of cleared away in. Well, with Lala at the edge of the box, the right back normally wouldn't be considered a threat from there. This is Kenny Lala, though, that we're talking about, and that is a beautiful little finish by him into the bottom corner. Anyway, 2 goals up. That's all she wrote, I feel like, at this point. And Ada, what a ball that is by De Jong. The effort at the end of it deserved to result in a goal just for the pass alone. We'll take off our St. Maximin. We'll take off for Gabels. I would love Cabells to get a goal from the left wing in the last 15 minutes. He's been struggling just a little bit for goals. A reasonable opportunity here maybe to come on off the bench and get a goal for a bit of a confidence boost for him. I would love to see that. And well, speaking of the devil, here he is. He hits it. I mean, it was a pretty confident run and effort at the end of it, even if the quality was just a little bit lacking. Atletico Marseille, they've been a bit of a pain, haven't they? They've been a bit of a pain. I thought they were going to roll over and be a team that we could easily dispatch of. But they've actually been... I don't want to say they've been super sturdy because they've not done anything all game, but they've been resilient. And I mean, fair play to them. They can have their heads held high. 2-0 it finishes on the night. Anything but a classic. We'll take it. Kenny Lala, man of the match. And now we can look forward to the game against Lorient, where hopefully with a little bit of rotation, you know, our first team is now going to get us a win in the league to bounce back from that previous defeat. You can see a Durand involved in a 2-0 win. I mean, look how much he's improved. Look how much... I mean, I'm so excited about him. 16 years old, playing regular first-team football in our division. He looks like he's going to be an incredible goalkeeper. I genuinely didn't know how much football he'd get at FC Lorient when we loaned him to them. But he really has been good. Anyway, you can see here Fekir is now happy to stay at the club because no team's made reasonable bids. Again, that kind of comes back to what I was saying before, where you can have players who are unhappy and want to leave, but usually quite quickly after the transfer market, they kind of just forgive and forget. Anyway, we've got QRM in the next round. They're a third-tier team, so another relatively kind draw in the French Cup, I guess, for us. Definitely not going to complain about that one. And, well, speaking of FC Lyon, we now have to take them on here. Hopefully, Agent Durand isn't going to be a pain in our ass. I feel like last time we met them, he did us a few favours, so we'll hope for more of the same there. I do want to just quickly look at who our players are, who our scouts have spotted. A few young Brazilians being flagged up for us. Joel Knapp, great name, the Ginger Ninja. No secondary nationality, which obviously always causes problems when it comes to registration. There's also Luciano here. Similar situation. You can see actually there's a few young Brazilians being recommended our way. We've got this guy, Cadao. I mean, he looks very good, doesn't he, at 18? Can play out on the right-hand side. Exceptional dribbling. I mean, I do like him. I guess the question is how much are Sao Paulo going to want? He's got a minimum release clause of 13 million. I am not willing to pay 13 million for him, I'm afraid. As much as he does look good, within our kind of registration rules, it would always be tricky to try and fit him into the side. But anyway, we've got this game against Lorient. They're down in 13th. Definitely a winnable game. A game that you'd expect us to win as well. Not just winnable, really. George Lynn wants to talk about leaving the club. Lopez, can you talk to him? You can talk to him. You've made him solve all his problems. Look, George Lynn, you've spent your whole career at the club. You're a good little rotation option for me. You're homegrown at club. I don't want to lose you. Although with Durand coming up, maybe Durand will be the man who takes George Lynn's spot in the next year or two. Of course, we've still got Rajkovic in goalkeeper as well, although he just seems to back up any player who's unhappy with me, which might give us a slight insight into how he feels about our management. Anyway, we can switch to our best 11 for today's game. And you can see fitness, not really a concern. Moise Kean is still out injured. I could have a Nader on the bench or I could have DJ. I think we'll give DJ an opportunity. He's got a good little goal scoring record for the reserve team. It's tricky because he looks like he could be a very good player, but he's not developed as much as I would like. That's probably largely down to the lack of first team opportunities I've given him. And with now Tizzy kind of up and coming, he's even fallen behind Tizzy, I feel like, in the pecking order just because Tizzy is actually scoring for us. But we'll give him an opportunity here today on the bench. Maybe he can show us what he's made of if he comes into the team. Last year he was on loan in the league below us for the second half of the season. This year he was a player who I probably would have liked to have loaned out ideally. But just the way that things worked out, in terms of the domestic loan player limits. He was one of the players who was a bit unfortunate to miss out. You know, there were perhaps other players who I considered higher priority to get regular first-team football to. Anyway, Ndombele, decent start. Durand in goal. I'm not even going to blame him for that one. It's Ndombele's 6th goal of the season. It's probably his 6th from outside the box, really. He has just been top draw. And, well, good little finish for him here. You know, passes the ball wide. Hit into that bottom corner. Durand unable to get a hand to it. And we'll take that. That should hopefully help us now relax into this tie. We'll have to see as this game goes on whether or not that is going to be, you know, a sign of things to come. You'd like to think now we can settle into this. If we could get a second goal now within the first 5 minutes, I would be a very, very happy bunny. If you want to do that for me, boys, that would be fantastic. Fakir's going to try and maybe make it happen here with an incredible run. Gets dispossessed in the end and it goes to Wissa. Applying pressure high up the pitch. Coman wins it. Gabel's looping header. Unable to find the target with it. And unfortunately, it whizzes away to safety. Another set piece for us here though. Fakir whips in. Wallace back post hits the outside of the post. And goes out for a goal kick. I mean, early pressure is going our way. We need to perhaps make the most of these opportunities we're having, though. We've hit the woodwork twice. Probably could be 2 or 3 ahead in this match and really home and dry. Another opportunity maybe here, though, as we start this highlight in their half. Ndombele to Memphis. Can he find the target? It's blocked away. Mendy, though, the left back, switches it to Eder Militao. To Ndombele. Already got 1 goal to his name. Back to Militao. The link-up play between them has been great. Ball in. I think there was a foul. Indeed, there was. The goal won't count. Gabels is booked for an infringement on the goalkeeper. And Lorient, well, they live to fight another day here. They are just causing us problems. Gabels has been booked. We'll tell him to ease out of tackles and be a little better behaved. First half's coming to a close here. You can see PSG v Monaco is the other game going on. I didn't even realise that. PSG, we could already do with them losing against Monaco. Monaco, if you could do us a favour today, I would be eternally grateful. But, well, half-time, 1-0 up. Very, very dominant display in the first half. We will hope now that we can kind of keep on going in this game, that we can maintain this tempo throughout. Lorient, little underwhelmed, if I'm honest, by them so far. Gabel's now with an injury. We will hope that is not serious. In the meantime, DJ is going to be the man to come in for us. We've talked about him having a lack of opportunities. This is his moment to show us what he's made of. Part of me's thinking about going to the more direct attacking style of play. But I don't necessarily want to, you know, unsettle our rhythm by changing systems. I think we'll go for some changes in the wide areas. We'll bring in St. Maxim in and Bertrand Traoré on the left and right hand side. I feel like we've been lacking a little bit in those areas today. Disappointing performances by the likes of Depay and Coman. Some fresh blood, some fresh legs there to hopefully make a difference. I did notice just there in the top left, Mbappe getting an equaliser for PSG. I think a draw would still be a very, very good result for us if Monaco could hold on. As we have a chance here. DJ with the effort just over the crossbar. 6 minutes of added time. I mean, if we somehow now only draw this, I'm going to be livid because we've been so much better and well. St. Maximin is going to make sure of the points. It's taken us a while, but we finally do get a second goal in this game. It's the sub who has got it. A second goal of the season for the French international. Cutting in on his right peg. Toussaint with the assist, of course, tried to force that move away to Liverpool. It's not happened. He's here and he needs to get on with his football. And, well, with little assists like that, maybe now he can, you know, settle. Maybe now he can be content with the fact he's not moving to the Premier League, at least this January. And we need him here focused for our title run-in against PSG. So all she wrote here, 2-0 it's going to finish. Now we anxiously wait for the PSG result. It looks like they might have even turned around their game and won. Let's have a look. No, they drew. Okay, they drew. Still 2 points behind them, but with if we win our game in hand, so 5 points behind them. But we know now that if we beat them, we would go ahead of them and our fate is in our own hands. Gabels is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. That is a big injury for us. Ferreira's played well. Shadas has played well. Terrier playing the full match. So has Kanate. Owusu did too. Good to see all our players being actively involved. And Elian Durand, he actually looked reasonably competent from what we saw of him playing against us today. Didn't make any drastic mistakes. The only issue we have now is that, well, we can see Ndombele is going to be suspended, which leaves us perhaps a little light in the centre of the midfield, although we do still have Gnanon who can come onto the bench and play that defensive midfielder role. The striker department, though, Keane is out for 8 days to 2 weeks. Gabels is now out for 2 to 4 weeks. So we have DJ and we have Tizzy. Now, it's probably a good job that I just registered Tizzy, because it looks like we're going to need him. Anyway, we are going to rest all of the players struggling a little bit with fitness going into this game. I want to make sure we're at tip-top shape for this game against Juventus in 3 days. It's going to be a massive, massive ask. Without Gabels and Moise Keane, we are missing our 2 big goal scorers for a little period now. Obviously, the good news is that Keane is going to be back sooner rather than later. But of all the players that we could be without, you'd say that they're the 2 players that you would particularly want to have in your team. You can see the predicted lineup potentially for Juventus here. A 4-2-3-1 with Ronaldo leading the line. How good is Ronaldo in this, game? I mean, look at that. He's 36 and he still looks absolutely unreal. His contract's up at the end of the season. It'll be interesting to see if Juventus, extend it by any more. Also, the money that he's on is ludicrous. £1 million a week. That's like 60% of our wage budget total they spend on one player. Now, granted, it is probably one of the best players in the world football and probably the history of football. It still hurts a little bit to read. Anyway, you can see here Toussaint continuing to do well, continuing to develop. Absolutely love him. Markovic also developing really nicely, which is great to see. He's only 20 years old, but he looks like he's going to be a top draw centre-back for us in the future. Rajkovic looking unlikely to be called up to the Serbian national team. I mean, he's not going to be playing for us anytime soon, so if he is concerned about that, maybe moving him on is going to be the best bet. Our former man Tete is going to be playing against us as well. The right-back, of course, bought from us for £47.5 million at the start of this year. Crazy money, really. We'll hope that he doesn't come back to haunt us in this game. Fakir potentially wants a new contract. Coleman, can you help? He doesn't want to help. How much is Fakir on at the moment? So he's got 2.5 years left of his current deal. I mean, I probably would like to extend his contract, and I'm probably willing to go on par with Coleman. How much is Coleman on? Like 110,000, 115? I feel like I have to offer Fakir at least that. And well, you can see here, actually, he's been quite fair. He's come in with 115. I'm willing to offer him a 4.5-year extension. That loyalty bonus is quite big, but I kind of want to just make sure we have him locked down. We could also offer him a 1-year extension in his final season, kind of his contract. If he plays 10 games, he gets a year extension. He doesn't want that, but he also wants the wage rise. Like 100,000. He really wants 110,000. I'm just going to kneel to his demands. I don't want to upset Fakir unnecessarily. £40,000 extra to pay him, I think, is definitely an amount of money we can stomach for the player who, without a doubt, has been our star man. I feel like this year he's been a little less dominant than in previous seasons for us. But make no mistake, he is a player that we very much build around. And if we can set him on a new contract, that's going to be good. You can see here Mendy, who was talking about wanting to leave to join Atletico. He is now happy to stay. If we just look at contract expiry dates, is there any players who I really need to be worried about when it comes to their contracts? Traore's contract's up at the end of next season. He's unhappy. We're going to have to sell him in the summer for whatever we can get for him. Kenny Lala's contract's coming to a close soon. I'll offer him a little extension. He could see out his career here at the club. Auger, you have an optional 3-year extension that we can trigger soon. Gananon's contract's up in 2023, so in 2.5 years' time. He's another player who I'd be quite keen just to extend the current deal of. He's currently on £26,000 a week. we'll up that to 33. I feel like we've got to accept at this point we are going to have to up some of our wages that we give players. Gabel's currently has 2.5 years left on his contract, so again, let's get it extended. You know, no nonsense. Let's make sure that we have this guy locked down. He's looking like a star man. I'm going to offer him quite a big wage rise here, but I want him to sign an optional 3-year extension in his contract as part of the agreement. And he did not like that one bit. Jeez, okay, well that's not what I was expecting to happen. Markovic, your contract probably needs extending. Not quite in the first team just yet. So your wage rise shouldn't be too crazily high, but equally I would like to get him locked into a longer term deal. The good news is that he wants to stay in a longer term deal. I'm hoping that by upping some of these values, he's not going to kick up a fuss, and indeed he has. So contract negotiations, maybe I'm lowballing players a little bit here. Maybe I should wait until the end of the season, but there's a fair few players here who have contracts running out, and I want to renew them, but equally I don't want to be paying over the odds for them too much. Lopez has 2 years left on his current deal. As a goalkeeper, he definitely has years left in him. He wants a bit of a wage rise. I can give him a little bit of a wage rise, just not quite the calibre that he wants. You know, I'll give you an extra £5,000 a week. Come on. 57. Look, meet me in the middle at 60. He really wants, you know what, £3,000. Given how all the other negotiations have gone, I'm just going to bite my tongue and give him that new contract. I feel like most of these youngsters we signed have the, you know, the extra little extensions in their deals. De Jong is a player who wants to try and force a bit of a wage rise. That's fine. Tizzy, I am desperate to lock down on a long-term deal, although he's still got an optional year extension in his contract. Kone has an optional 3-year extension. Lenglet I would like to renew the contract of. DJ, I'm not so keen of doing that just yet. Same with Moreno. Unless he's willing to take a wage drop, which he's not going to be willing to. I don't feel like we need to renew his contract just yet. Still got 2.5 years left on his deal. You know, as much as it sucks for players like Gabel's and Markovic's kind of deals not to work out, ultimately, they've still got 2.5 years left of their current contracts. It's not going to be the end of the world. Anyway, I am going to play Aneda. He's not that familiar playing complete forward, but he has the attributes to play it, and he has great work rate, great teamwork, and great technique, which is, you know, a lot of what it takes to play here. It's a big game for him, though. At 17 years old, the former Roma man is now going to be taking on Juventus in the Champions League knockout stages. Unfortunately, the injuries to the likes of Gabel's and Moise Kean playing a role in that selection. If we do just compare DJ and Aneda here, I mean, should I play DJ over him? I mean, DJ debatably the better player, but Aneda's the player with goals in him. I'm going to go with Aneda today. That might seem like a bold call, but I'm going to prioritise him. If we need to, of course, we can make a sub if Aneda has a particularly poor game. The rest of the team, though, very, very standard. Of course, Ndombele missing today through suspension. And in the attacking department, we're missing a few players as well. We're at home for today's game, so the main aim has to be, I feel like, to remain solid at the back. Let's try and not concede too many away goals against Juventus. Equally, I would like us to come away with at least a draw from this game to give ourselves a good chance to go through. The expectation of the board is to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Juventus as a first knockout round draw. Definitely not the easiest draw you could have. We'll have to hope that we can really kick on and do well here, as Dybala has a free kick. And I mean, it's a pretty blooming good free kick, isn't it? You expect that from a player who's taken the free kick mantle from Cristiano Ronaldo. And, well, the Argentine number 10, the nightmare start for us. Could Lopez have got there? It looked like in the replay he didn't really get across his goal too quickly, but a bit of a mental test for us now, perhaps. We need to reset, just relax a little bit as well. And, well, let's see how we get on. You can see we've settled into the game now. Juventus' only shot was that free kick that found the back of the net. We've had 57% of the ball. I mean, not a classic first half. I feel like would be the understatement of the year. It's going to be, at the break, 1-0 to Juventus. A game that I'd argue that we've been a little bit better and as the game's gone on, but equally we've not done anywhere near enough to warrant, scoring. We've not created enough opportunities. Go tell the players I've got faith in them and there's more to come from them. I need to get the players on side. I need to encourage them here. Of course, we have a pretty stacked bench full of players that we can bring on to make a difference for us. Tizzy's actually had a really, really poor game, as has Kingsley Coman. I'll give them, 10 minutes in this half before I start maybe thinking about changes as Coman brings it forward and hits it over. You know what? I'm going to take off Aneda and I'm going to bring in DJ now. Two strikers who, between them, I don't feel like inspire me with confidence. Neither of them are players who are obviously anywhere near the calibre of Moise Kean and Gabels, but they have ability. They've shown us it in glimpses. What can they show us now? As Coman runs through, Chesney, nice little stop at the back for Juventus. And again, we're dominating this game. We are really dominating this game. I kind of want to go more direct, but that could risk us getting hit on the break. Unfortunately, we've now got an injury to contend with because Depay's out. We're going to have to bring Saint-Maximin in on that left-hand side. You know what? I think we will go to the direct attacking style of play. And with that, Coman will now play as a winger. Still have one more change left in us. But yeah, we're going to go to the direct attack and see what it can do for us. Juve with a chance here. Emre Can just rifles it in from range. They've done nothing all game, Juventus, and then they score 2 goals through moments of brilliance. One a free kick, this one a long shot. Tactical change didn't even take effect, which is a little bit of a sucker punch. Depay with the ball across. Emre Can afforded some space to run into and just tucks it into the bottom corner there. Oh, I feel like we've been really, really hard done by here so far this game. We desperately need at least 1 goal here now to really make something happen. Conceding 2 away goals is pretty disastrous in the grand scheme of things. And if we can't get 1 back now, we know that we have to go to the Allianz. And we have to get more as they hit the woodwork from Ronaldo. I mean, Football Manager, please be kind to us. I was thinking about going very attacking. That might be a mistake. Let's stick with this now. We've got a highlight. We've got an opportunity. Fekir backheels it to Mendy. Mendy crosses it in. Oh my gosh. Kingsley Coman. What a finish. Di Canio-esque. Talked about the fact he'd been a little bit quiet so far today. I mean, he's come up big there, hasn't he? Mendy, the left back, with the ball in. Kind of driven at an unusual angle. No one picking up Coman, and he tucks it into the bottom corner. 2-1 is good, although Juve now with another opportunity. Surely not another one of these long shots going to go in. Ronaldo with the ball. Now with Dybala even. Coman wins it. We could spring a break here. We have pace. And we have men breaking forward. Saint-Maximin, golden opportunity. He tucks it home. 2 goals in 2 minutes. We absolutely deserve that. Coman with a goal, now with an assist as well. It's 2-2 on the night. I said that we needed a draw. I wanted us to be more solid at the back than we've shown ourselves to be here. But yes, Saint-Maximin smashing it into that bottom corner. Lovely, lovely little finish by him. I mean, could we get another to fully turn things around? Maybe I shouldn't get too greedy. Maybe I should be grateful for what we've got here. Looks like that is going to be all she wrote. We've turned things around late on in this game. Absolutely deserved it. And I don't know. We given where we were with 10 minutes left, I feel like we now have an opportunity. We now have a chance. Depay's out for 5 to 6 weeks. That's another long-term injury for us. They are flooding in. You can see Gravenberch playing for Porto in the Champions League. Played 78 minutes. Ferreira playing for Brest against Lorient. Is that a Ligue 1 game that they're playing in there? Was there a set of league games going on? It looks like there was. Yeah, a few teams have now played 25 games. I guess that's just the way the scheduling's worked out here. So we have got a little bit of a break now until the Juventus second leg. Most of the time in the Champions League it's quite quick turnarounds, but the first round is always about a month apart. That does mean that we could have Gabels and certainly will have Moise Kean back, which is good news. We've now got Bordeaux, who are 6th in the league. That is not the easiest game in the world, is it? Let's be honest. Anyway, Gabels obviously can't play. I'm going to play DJ to start and Tizzy on the bench. Memphis is going to be out here. That does leave us with a little bit of a conundrum. Just in the wide areas, we're a little bit lacking. We could have Moise Kean on the bench, although he's probably not going to be fit enough to play. We might be better off playing someone like Olmo, to be honest, on the bench. You can see here, Depay is now out for 3 to 6 weeks. Moise Kean is going to be back soon. Gabels is out, and of course Trincao also out injured. One of the areas of the pitch where I always feel like we've been blessed is in the attacking department, and in the winger department with just a load of players. In fact, I'd argue that this year we've had 1 or 2 players too many in those areas. But when you now look at our team listed like this, suddenly you go, actually, maybe overstacking in those areas wasn't the worst decision in the world, because 4 of our starting players in terms of attacking midfielders and strikers all out. Now Danny Olmo's got food poisoning. I mean, just you know, I don't know what to say at this point. I feel like Football Manager's just screwing with me. If Olmo's not available for selection as well, we really are going to be down to bare bones in the attacking midfield department. But yes, we need to bounce back. In the league, we've been pretty disappointing. You can see an updated scout report on Jovic here. He is joining us on a free transfer. He really hasn't developed that well, and at the start of FM this year, he wasn't as good as I imagine he is after the January update. Given the season he's had for Frankfurt, I don't think it's entirely surprising to see him linked with the likes of Real Madrid this summer already. Maybe he can still reach those dizzying heights for us. We'll certainly hope that he can. But I feel like it might be a little bit ambitious, you know. Interesting to see Leon Bailey recommended to us. I mean, I'd love Leon Bailey, but funnily enough, I don't think I have £78 million lying around to pick him up. So that might be a little bit of a challenging one. Anyway, almost back in light training. Panic over, everyone. He should be available for selection. Just in terms of team selection, I mean, we're in an okay spot. A few players still unhappy. I'm hoping that they're going to settle down and get on with their games. Obviously, DJ, you know, a bit of a rotation option starting today's game. Saint Maximin out on the left, a little bit unusual there as well. But no, we still have a very, very good team. I feel like one thing that we are more than blessed with here at Lyon is just crazy squad depth. We have a lot of very, very high quality players. Probably can make an argument that we have too many first team players. But equally, I feel like when you look at this current situation we find ourselves in, we have to be grateful for the fact that we are prepared for such an incident to happen with all these crazy injuries. Worth noting that some of the younger players who do train with the first team, who are listed in our first team squad, they are available for the reserve team as well. You know, they are kind of honorary reserve team members. And they have played a fair bit of football there down in the 4th tier of France. I did notice Monaco a goal down early on. Wouldn't be the worst result in the world for us, particularly you know, in terms of ensuring that we definitely do get a second this year. It would be quite favourable to see Monaco slip up a little bit in the next couple of game weeks. Give us a little bit more breathing room, perhaps. I mean, that is literally... I can't believe the first half's just gone. I was kind of just waiting for a highlight to happen. One didn't happen. The quickest half of football ever, debatably right there. I mean, apparently we had slightly more chances, but largely disappointing. Second half, we're going to go with the exact same change that we just did against Juventus. We're going to go onto the direct attacking style of play. We're going to be a little bit more, what's the word, direct in our play. We're going to be a little bit less patiently probing. Going to go in with some force, try and move the ball quickly up the pitch into the final third. DJ, Saint Maximin and Coman all having pretty poor games. I'm going to do the reverse change of what we did in the previous game. I'm going to bring in Tizzy for DJ in the striking department and see what he can do for us. Saint Maximin and Coman not having the best of games. You know, usually I'd have the likes of Depay to bring on in this kind of game. Maybe Gabels or Moise Kean to play out on the wing. Not blessed with that today, but what we are blessed with is Tizzy and his insane teamwork and work rate. And I'm hoping that we're going to see him get on the score sheet today. Without Gabels and Moise Kean, it would be fair to say, striker-wise, we've been disappointing as Alphonso Davies has just scored one of the best goals I've seen in FM this year. I mean, I don't even know what to say. What a solo goal that is. That is nutty. Picks the ball 10 yards up in his own half. He stances past one. He dances past another two. And then he just slots it into the bottom corner. I feel like at this point I should be compelled to remind you guys that I am currently prepping a Canadian save. Alphonso Davies is Canadian. Whether or not we would ever be able to sign him in the Canadian Premier League, I doubt it. But maybe we can find the next Davis. Maybe we'll see more goals like that in the near future being scored by Canadians on the channel. I certainly hope we're not going to have any more in this game today. As he's on the ball again, I'm scared. I might get in flashbacks to that last goal. He's now switched the ball to Kalu, who switches it in. Davis is there again. It's blocked. How has that gone in? Sankharé has got the goal. I mean, they've had 2 shots on target and they've both gone in. I'm genuinely a little bit annoyed. Kalu with the ball here. Crosses it in. Davis hits it once. It's blocked away and then just crazy reflexes to make sure they get to that. I mean, I feel like it'd be fair to say that without our normal starting strikers, we've looked a little bit crap, to put it lightly. I'm going to bring in Aouar and I'm going to bring in Bertrand Traoré in the wide areas. With 20 minutes left, we need 2 goals. We've got to start doing something, and it's got to start here. As Toussaint's and ranged effort. Keeper had to make a save. I mean, there's still 20 minutes here. Let's not panic too much. Now a corner. Fekir crosses it in. Cleared away. Aouar's there. What can you do, Aouar? Puts it back out to Fekir and the highlight just ends. Well, that was anticlimactic to say the very, very least. 10 minutes left of this game. Another set piece for us. We really need to make the most of one of these. Wallace is there. Free header over the bar. Oh my. It's going to be one of those days. I've already accepted it. They've had 2 shots on target. They've both gone in. And unfortunately for us, we've not taken the half opportunities that have come our way. Bordeaux, they're in sick for a reason, and we've experienced it pretty much firsthand. That is disappointing. I can't help but feel like the injuries in the final third, an inability to rotate things and, you know, have a plan B has ultimately cost us there. We need the likes of Trincao back. We need the likes of Depay back. Maybe I should have recalled Shadas from his loan, although looking at him, I need him to continue just to develop at Gunningham. He looks incredible. He's going to be so good. Marin, of course, another wide man who maybe we will call upon a little bit next year. Who knows? But, well, that is a massively disappointing result. It seems Bordeaux go up to 5th. Let's just have a look at the league. I can only assume that PSG won. They're actually playing a later game this week, which is interesting. It means with the same amount of games played as them, they are 5 points clear of us. I mean, we absolutely have to win the game in hand just to stay ahead of Monaco. That gives you an idea of where our head's at. 8 points clear of Bordeaux for a spot in the Champions League, but that loss against them is a little bit concerning with 14 games left of the season. It would be fair to say that following that 2-2 draw against Juventus and some of the losses recently in the league, all away from home, we're in a situation now where it could be quite contrasting, the end of this season to the end of last season. Of course, we've got the Coupe de la Ligue final still in the French Cups. There's still some opportunities for silverware. But, well, we need to turn things around and fast if we want to win a major honour like we did last season. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Hopefully you have enjoyed as always. If you have, don't forget to drop a like on today's video. I will see you again soon. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.